Well, folks, this edition of the 700 Club, well, at least phase 2 is over. The Electoral College has voted as they should have, and they have nominated Mr. Trump as the next president of the United States. And all it's waiting now is to have him sworn in January. But, you know, if the Republicans had done what the Democrats have done, the media you would never hear the end of it. It is shameful, it is disgusting, it is appalling, and not to mention the fact they're sore losers. I cannot believe it. But what they did to try to turn the Electoral College, fortunately those people held true. As a matter of fact, they dislodged several electors from Hillary to Trump. So instead of taking them from Trump to Hillary, they got some of hers, but that's another story. But listen, this thing is over, and these guys have got to get together and say, look, we're Americans, let's make this country great. They cannot continue this partisan stuff, and if they do, they're going to get less and less and less and less of effect in the general population. They're going to continue to lose, and instead of looking at themselves and saying, what did we do wrong? They're pointing the fingers at the Russians and at this hacking and Assange and all these people. No, it is the fact that they didn't touch the heartland of America. Well, terrorists have unleashed more of their evil at Christmas time, and this is their game. It's a Christian holiday. They want to destroy Christians. This is anti-Christian. You've got to name it what it is. It's Islamic terrorism aimed at Christians. A man drove a truck into a Christmas market in Berlin, plowing over people. He killed at least 12 and injured nearly 50.
And in Turkey, a gunman assassinated the Russian ambassador. Now a man has fired shots outside the U.S. embassy in Turkey, rattling nerves even more. Charlene Aaron has more on these shocking attacks.
Christmas Day festivities turned to horror when a truck plowed through an open-air market in Berlin.
It came in through the entrance, hit the sides of the barriers, and then carried on past us.
Thousands of locals and tourists were enjoying pre-Christmas celebrations.
It happened really, really fast. I thought it was just a runaway truck that was out of control, maybe somebody who was drunk or didn't know how to drive.
Police say the driver of a delivery truck intentionally jumped the sidewalk at a high speed and ripped through shops and crowds. German Chancellor Angela Merkel says authorities believe it was a terror attack. The driver fled the scene but was later captured. German media report that the suspect is a Pakistani citizen who came to Germany as a refugee in February 2016. In July, an ISIS terrorist killed 86 people when he rammed a truck into a crowd at a Bastille Day celebration in Nice, France. Since then, ISIS has encouraged followers to repeat truck attacks. Last month, a man used a car to carry out an attack on the campus of Ohio State University. In another brazen act of terrorism, a gunman in Turkey assassinated Russian Ambassador Andrei Karlov Monday in front of cameras, shouting Allahu Akbar and referring to Aleppo, Syria. Turkish and Russian leaders say the assassination was an attempt to disrupt efforts to repair ties between the two countries, which have been strained by the Syrian civil war. The Daily Mail reports the shooter is also heard shouting, "We are the descendants of those who supported the Prophet Muhammad for jihad." Turkish media say that phrase is similar to the anthem of al-Nusra, which is al-Qaeda in Syria. The gunman was later killed in a shootout with police. President-elect Donald Trump blames Islamic terrorism for the deadly violence in Turkey and Germany, stating that we need to start thinking differently about the threat from Islamist terror. Trump said the Islamic State group and other Islamic terrorists continually slaughter Christians in their communities and places of worship as part of their global jihad. Here at home, Homeland Security officials issued a warning that holiday celebrations could be targeted. In New York, the NYPD is on high alert, posting armed guards at holiday markets. Charlene Aaron, CBN News.
Do you realize the FBI anti-terrorism training manual had 1,000 pages removed dealing with jihad? Anything that talked about Islamic, Muslim, jihad, or any of the global terrorism, springing from that operation was stripped from our books. We were not allowed to use the term jihad. That's a legacy of the Obama administration that thankfully we will be free of in another 60 days or so. It's just unbelievable that they shut their eyes to this, but now Trump's naming it as what it is. We know what it is, and it's time we identify the enemy and then go after it with both guns blazing. Well, as I said before, it's official. Donald Trump has won the Electoral College vote, making him the next president of the United States. John Jessup has more.
That is right, Pat, and that vote officially makes Donald Trump the 45th president of the United States. The voting mostly went off without a hitch, despite some angry protests and attempts to overturn the election results.
Vote sanity and stability, no Trump.
I never asked for this. I never ran for it. I never held my hand up for it.
It's a scary thing. We're afraid of what's going to happen with this guy.
In the final tally, Trump finished with 304 electoral votes, while Clinton ended up with 227. 2 electors from Texas refused to vote for Trump, while Hillary Clinton had 4 electors who also defected. Trump tweeted after the vote, "We did it. Thank you to all of my great supporters. We just officially won the election despite all of the distorted and inaccurate media." Trump will officially take office on January 20th of next year. Well, North Carolina lawmakers are preparing to overturn the state's controversial bathroom law. It sparked a national debate and boycotts, opponents calling it an attack on transgender rights, while supporters say it is a protective measure to keep sexual predators from attacking women. The law required people to use bathrooms based on their biological sex. Outgoing Republican Governor Pat McCrory has called a special session to repeal it by December 31st. He's taking the step because the city of Charlotte just repealed its non-discrimination measure that started the whole controversy. McCrory says this new move proves it was all politically motivated, saying this sudden reversal with little notice after the gubernatorial election sadly proves this entire issue, originated by the political left, was all about politics and winning the governor's race at the expense of Charlotte and our entire state. Well, warmer weather is on the way. Welcome news for states that have been suffering with sub-zero temperatures and dangerous travel conditions. The icy cold left the northern half of the country in a deep freeze, causing deadly accidents and thousands of flight cancellations. About 1,600 car crashes resulted in at least 19 deaths over the past few days. And all the airport closures have threatened holiday travel. But now the record low temperatures are heading up, which will help thaw out those roads and airports before Christmas. Well, if you've noticed your clothes feeling a little bit tighter than usual, you're in good company. That's because a lot of people pack on the pounds at Christmas time. But Lori Johnson has a few tips on how to avoid that all too common holiday weight gain.
Those delicious goodies we love this time of year carry a price.
The average American gains about 8 to 10 pounds from Thanksgiving until New Year's.
Ideally, come January, we'll lose them, but all too often that just doesn't happen. So dietitian Kelly Freno shares tips on how to avoid gaining in the first place, starting with strategies for food-laden get-togethers.
Some things we can do is make sure we're choosing healthy foods. So making sure that we enjoy lean sources of meat like turkey, ham, and salmon, making half of our plates non-starchy vegetables.
Also, choose smaller portions, eat slowly, and no seconds.
The best way to avoid overdoing it at your holiday gathering is to eat something healthy and filling beforehand, like a handful of nuts, a hard-boiled egg, or a salad.
Drink plenty of water before and during the event.
Cautious, though, on the high sugary beverages. So careful on the eggnog. Also watch out for our alcohol intake. 1 5-ounce glass of wine has 120 calories. If you have 2 or 3 of those throughout the evening, those calories really add up quickly.
Make time to exercise. It not only burns those extra calories, it also acts as a stress reliever, minimizing your temptation to stress eat.
It's hard to eat healthy when people twist your arm with words like, "Come on, it's the holidays," or "I made this myself just for you."
But don't give in to peer pressure.
Kind of preparing yourself with a healthy, happy, no thank you, or the dish looks great, but I'm full, it's been a delight. So learning how to politely say no can be very engaging during a holiday party without being overbearing or insulting.
Finally, weigh yourself every day. Research shows this reality check helps you minimize your weight gain. Lori Johnson, CBN News.
Thanks, Lori. Pat, holiday weight gain, that's something you don't have to worry about.
Well, I really don't. I don't have to act. You should have seen my dinner last night. We got some of those Omaha steaks, and I said to my wife, well, let's get one of those patties that is a hamburger, and you give me half of one. You know how big that was? No. It was about the size of a quarter.
You asked for it, you got it.
And she said, I said, honey, that's exactly what I asked for. So,
and I'm oh so full.
That's right. That and a little helping of kale or whatever was my dinner. That's all I wanted. But you know, it's amazing. Your appetite just goes if you do it right. And yeah.
A little bit frequently, right?
Yeah, well, a little bit. Period, you know. But in any event, it's staying down. I hit the scales, and boy, it's coming off. But
good for you. Yeah. Good for you. Well, remember that this holiday season, right?